check. Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the hood. You know there's Homemade TV hustles on the mission every day. Everyday shit media. Yeah. Everyday shit media. Hold on, goddamn it. Hold on. Everyday shit media. In the Lit House. Sponsored by dividendsapparel.com. Remember, whatever you do, make sure you do it capital. Create a positive impact today and later. Fuck them haters. Get your paper straight like that. Remember, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Whole ass motherfuckers gonna talk about it. And fuck niggas gonna hate. Regardless, I promise you that. And you know, we back here for a real nigga reaction. Little R.N.R. Get you some rest and relaxation on this beautiful hump day. Wednesday. It's hump day, so get you some humping there. You know, get over the hump again, and then again after that. And we're gonna pop this off. You see what the title say? Damn, I forgot this one. I was doing so much shit. This say most dangerous female reacting to life sentences. So I guess we fucking with the most dangerous females and their reactions. So remember, man, control your emotions. That shit is never that serious, man. After you calm down, think about it, you like, man, that shit ain't that. I don't give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck that much. Yeah, let's get into it though. Y'all see what it is. We finna jump right into when at. Okay then.
They're alleging that you murdered one Mary Welch. That is a charge called homicide, felony murder.
We, the jury, in the above account cause.
All right. You got some survey shit. Hold on, I gotta put this on the TV too. Anyway, I thought it was on the TV. I gotta airplay it. All right, we back.
Find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, to commit murder.
She my son. I intentionally killed her.
From a racist woman who was on a divine mission to rid the earth of child molesters, to a mother who readily arranged for her husband to be shot to death to gain full custody of their only son, to a Roman who beat 2 of her children to death and froze their bodies for 2 years, these defendants have proven that they deserve to be locked up away for the rest of their lives.
Not if you defend.
Take a seat at the Union County Court as we listen to the shocking case of Christine Moody, who was sentenced in court for a crime that they believed was a divine mission to save the world. On a seemingly ordinary day in Union, South Carolina, the courtroom was packed. The air was thick with tension as Christine Moody, 37, and her husband Jeremy Moody, 31, faced their sentencing. The couple had been convicted of a heinous crime. The Moodys were found guilty of murdering Charles Parker, 59, and his wife, Gretchen Parker, 51. But this wasn't just any murder case. The Moodys had a twisted motive that made this crime even more chilling. They believed they were on a divine mission to rid the world of sex offenders. The events leading up to the murder of Charles and Gretchen Parker were chilling. On the day of the crime, the Moodys attended church, where they appeared to be just another couple seeking spiritual solace. However, beneath this facade, they were plotting a gruesome act. After leaving the church, they drove to the Parkers' home, pretending to have car trouble. This ruse was designed to lure Charles Parker out of his house. When Charles came out to help, Jeremy Moody pulled a gun and forced him inside. Inside the house, the Moodys revealed their horrifying intentions. They told the Parkers exactly why they were going to kill them. Jeremy Moody shot both Charles and Gretchen, and then Christine Moody stabbed them. The couple's actions were caught on a surveillance camera on the Parkers' property. The evidence was damning. Jeremy Moody's distinctive tattoos, including the word skinhead on his neck and Made in America on his head, made him easily identifiable. The couple was arrested and charged with murder, kidnapping, and first-degree burglary. The Moody's' belief in their divine mission and their lack of remorse shocked everyone. They even claimed to have a list of other sex offenders they planned to kill. After his arrest, Jeremy directed investigators to a sheet of paper in their home, which listed the name and address of another sex offender. He chillingly told police that he was going to kill that person the next day if he had not been arrested. During the trial, the courtroom learned more about the dark and disturbing backgrounds of Christine and Jeremy Moody. Both had experienced traumatic childhoods that shaped their twisted motives. Lawyers revealed that both Christine and Jeremy had been sexually abused as children. The tension was palpable as Union County Judge Lee Alford prepared to deliver the verdict. Initially, the Moody's appeared contrite. They apologized to the judge and pleaded for a 30-year sentence, hoping to see their children grow up and grow old together.
Not a day goes by that I don't regret the incident that happened. And I know that what I've done is a sin.
I truly believe God has forgiven Jeremy and I. I hope you will too.
But this facade quickly crumbled. As Judge Alford handed down the maximum punishment of life in prison, the Moody's' true colors emerged. As the judge delivered the sentence, the Moody's shared a brief kiss. Jeremy Moody, with a smirk on his face, shouted at the Parker family,
Perverts later. That's what child molesters get.
Christine Moody, walking in shackles to a police car outside the courthouse, told reporters,
Child molesters do not deserve to live. They got exactly what they deserve. Had to do it over again, I'd kill more.
I think Jeremy and I would have done it again if given the opportunity.
Do you have any regrets?
Free Jeremy.
No regrets. Killing that pedophile was the best day of my life.
Their lack of remorse was chilling and left everyone in disbelief. Being unrepentant and unremorseful is already insulting enough, but sharing a kiss in court makes it worse for the families of the victims. This next woman takes things even further with her reaction to being sentenced for the murder of her daughter. The tragic story of Tatiana Fusari and her daughter Mary Welch begins long before the courtroom drama. The family had been on the radar of Child Protective Services since 2014. This was after THC was found in the system of their eldest newborn child. Despite this alarming discovery, the family continued to live under a cloud of suspicion and concern. Mary Welch was born on October 23rd, 2017. Her parents, Tatiana Fusari and Seth Welch, lived in Solon Township, Kent County, Michigan. From the very beginning, Mary's life was fraught with neglect. By the time she was 10 months old, Mary weighed only 8 pounds. The parents were aware of her underweight condition, but refused to seek medical assistance. They cited religious reasons and a lack of trust in the medical system as their justification. The situation at home was far from ideal. The county sheriff testified that the family home was unhygienic, with evidence of vermin, insects, and mold. Mary's tragic demise laid bare a shocking level of neglect, carelessness, and apathy. She was put to bed at 3:30 p.m., only to be checked on the following day at 10 a.m. When the couple discovered her cold, unresponsive, and not breathing, instead of promptly seeking emergency medical assistance, the parents first consulted a lawyer, treating the situation as a mere formality. They then called 911 after speaking to their lawyers.
Man, how the fuck you put your baby to sleep at 3 p.m. and don't check on them until the next day at 10 a.m.? Bitch, that's almost 20 hours. Bitch. Boy. What the fuck, bro? That shit crazy. Let me check on my shit. It only been goddamn 10 minutes. Damn. Crazy ass babies. All right, now where were we?
The dispatcher even questioned the normalcy of their children sleeping for such extended periods.
When you found her, she was already believed to be deceased, right? Yes. And that's when you consulted with a lawyer? Yep. Do you believe she was beyond help already? Oh, yeah, she was dead at the door now.
The doctor who performed the autopsy on Mary stated that she was suffering from chronic malnutrition, which he believed was caused by the withholding of food and water. He noted that Mary's bones were visible, devoid of any fat or muscle tissue, indicating weeks or months of suffering leading up to her death. The initial charges against Tatiana Fusari and Seth Welch came swiftly after the tragic death of their daughter, Mary Welch. In August 2018, both parents were charged with felony murder.
You're both charged with what they call felony murder while in the perpetration or attempted perpetration of child abuse in the first degree. They're alleging that you murdered one Mary Welch. That is a charge called homicide felony murder. It is life without parole. It requires a DNA sample to be taken upon arrest.
The couple's reaction to these charges was captured on video and quickly went viral. The footage showed Tatiana Fusari and Seth Welch in a state of shock and disbelief as they were informed of the charges against them. Their stunned expressions and apparent lack of comprehension of the severity of their actions left many viewers outraged and bewildered. The public's reaction to the viral video was intense. People were horrified by the apparent indifference and lack of remorse displayed by the parents. The trial of Tatiana Fusari was a dramatic and emotional affair, filled with shocking revelations and heart-wrenching testimonies. In 2021, Tatiana Fusari took the stand to testify in her own defense. She spoke of her life with Seth Welch, describing him as abusive and controlling. Fusari claimed that Welch would rape and beat her, and that she was...
If you've ever dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these cities, then you've got to see the same ad that I saw 3 years ago.
...not permitted to take Mary to a doctor.
He got very angry with me. He smacked me across the face and he told me that he knows how he said, you know what the I think about doctors. I told you Mary is fine. She's fine, now drop it.
She blamed the abuse for her inability to provide proper care for her daughter. Despite her defense, Fusari's testimony did little to sway the jury. She also claimed that she did not notice that Mary was unhealthy and did not know what caused her death.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with her.
This statement further fueled the public's outrage and disbelief.
Yeah, that's some
How could
bullshit.
the mother not recognize the dire condition of her own child? As the trial progressed, the courtroom was filled with tension. The judge, jury, and spectators listened intently as the evidence was presented. The emotional weight of the case was palpable, and the stakes were incredibly high. On November 2021, the verdict was finally delivered. Tatiana Fusari was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She was also sentenced to 15 to 30 years on the charge of first-degree child abuse. While that was the perfect example of people who shouldn't have birthed kids, this next mother was ready to fight tooth and nail for the custody of her child, even if it meant killing her husband. Diana Lovejoy and Greg Mulvihill seemed like a typical couple living in Carlsbad, California. They were married and had a young son together. However, their relationship began to unravel, leading to a bitter divorce and a contentious custody battle. By the summer of 2014, Lovejoy accused Mulvihill of sexual abuse against her and possibly their son. These allegations led to supervised visitation for Mulvihill, but after thorough investigation, the court found no evidence to support Lovejoy's claims and granted shared custody. The tension between the estranged couple only grew worse. By summer 2016, after a long legal battle, they reached a settlement. They agreed to share custody of their 3-year-old son, and Lovejoy was ordered to pay Mulvihill $120,000. Despite the agreement, the animosity between them did not subside. Lovejoy's resentment and desperation to gain sole custody of her son set the stage for a dark and twisted plot. The night of September 1st, 2016, was when Diana Lovejoy and Weldon McDavid's sinister plan came to fruition. Lovejoy had met McDavid, a former Marine and gun instructor, at an Oceanside gun range earlier that year. Their relationship quickly escalated from professional to personal, with McDavid even installing a security system in Lovejoy's home. Despite being married, McDavid became intimately involved with Lovejoy, and she manipulated him with fabricated stories of abuse by her estranged husband, Greg Mulvihill. Using a burner phone, McDavid called Mulvihill around 11 p.m., pretending to be a private investigator. He claimed to have evidence proving Mulvihill's abusive behavior, which could be used against him in the divorce. McDavid instructed Mulvihill to retrieve this so-called evidence from a pole along a dark dirt path off Avenida Soledad. Mulvihill, accompanied by Jason Kovac, his co-worker and friend, arrived at the location armed with a small baseball bat and a bicycle light. As they approached the pole, Mulvihill shone the light around, searching for the evidence. Suddenly, a shot rang out, hitting Mulvihill in the side. He fell to the ground, but miraculously, he survived the attack. His friend quickly placed an emergency call to the emergency service.
My friend has just been shot. There's a guy lying there like a sniper. He was wearing camouflage.
Detectives traced the phone used to call Mulvihill back to Diana Lovejoy and also found surveillance videos of her purchasing the phone at Best Buy. McDavid, dressed in camouflage and lying in the bushes, had fired the shot. He later claimed in court that he was only trying to shoot out the light in Mulvihill's hand, fearing that Mulvihill had a gun. However, the prosecutor argued that McDavid, an expert marksman, was hired by Lovejoy to kill her husband. Further testimony from Mulvihill's co-worker Jason Kovac, who witnessed the ambush, strengthened the prosecution's case.
Shines the light around looking for things, and that's when I noticed someone laying prone on the ground with the gun, which I thought was like a sniper rifle with the gun silencer on it or something.
The plan was to eliminate Mulvihill and make it look like an act of self-defense or an accident. The trial of Diana Lovejoy and Weldon McDavid was nothing short of dramatic. Both defendants vehemently denied any murder-for-hire plot.
I would never be able to do that.
Boy, them ain't some fake ass tears, that fake ass cry. Y'all see this shit?
Some people in this world seem to think that I would have it in me to do this.
Lovejoy, often in tears, insisted she would never take her son's father away from him.
I was sexually abused, and I witnessed my son be molested once. And I did take all the steps I possibly could to ameliorate that situation.
McDavid claimed there was no intent to kill, stating, "That's not who I am." Despite their denials, the evidence against them was overwhelming.
I thought of my son growing up without a father. My father was killed.
Boy, and your son father finna be locked up. Boy, yeah.
My father was killed when I was 24.
Who is a bit? He
I still haven't gotten over that.
Sympathy in the court. It ain't gonna
I would
work,
not take
you a nigga fucking a white man.
During the trial, shocking testimonies emerged. Lovejoy's aunt revealed that about a year before the shooting, Lovejoy had asked if she knew someone who could scare or kill her husband. This, combined with the detailed planning and execution of the shooting, left little doubt in the jury's mind. On the day of the verdict, the tension in the courtroom was palpable.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder in violation of Penal Code Section 182.
When the jury
fucking done, son.
found Lovejoy guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder. She collapsed and had to be taken out on a stretcher.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, for conspiracy to commit murder.
Judge von Kalinowski sentenced Diana Lovejoy to 26 years to life in prison. Weldon McDavid received 50 years to life for his role in the shooting. During the sentencing, Lovejoy tearfully stated that she felt her voice was not heard during the trial. The judge responded, "You said you had no voice. That's your choice." He affirmed that there was sufficient evidence to support the verdict. Maybe Lovejoy was being a good mother who cared about her son too much that she was ready to risk anything for him. But this next woman murdered 2 of her kids and stored them in a freezer for allegedly raping their younger brother. The trial of Mitchell Blair was a terrible experience for everyone involved. In June 2015, Blair stood before Judge Dana Hathaway at the Wayne County Circuit Court. She pleaded guilty to 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder and
what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Man, I'm finna turn this shit off, man. I'm finna turn this shit off, bro. What the fuck?
And 1 count of felony murder. On the morning of March 24, 2015, an eviction crew arrived at Mitchell Blair's home on the east side of Detroit. Blair, a 35-year-old mother of 4, had been struggling financially and was being evicted for not paying rent. As the crew began the process of removing furniture from the house, they stumbled upon a discovery that shocked the entire community. In the living room stood a white deep freezer. When the Wayne County Sheriff's Department bailiff opened it, they were met with a horrifying sight. Inside the freezer, wrapped in a large plastic bag, was the frozen body of a teenage girl. Beneath her, wrapped in a blanket, was another body, a young boy. These were the bodies of Stephen Gage Berry and Stony Ann Blair, Mitchell Blair's.
Getting this education, getting my master's, put me at a level that, of course, more respect from the community, but also
own children. The authorities were immediately called to the scene. A neighbor quickly disclosed Blair's whereabouts, leading the police to find her at another neighbor's house with her 2 surviving children, aged 8 and 17. But Stephen and Stony were missing. When questioned, Mitchell Blair confessed to the murders without hesitation. She admitted to killing her children and stuffing their bodies in the freezer. As she was being handcuffed, she reportedly told the police that she wasn't evil, but that her actions were an evil act. The bodies were taken to a morgue where they had to thaw for 3 days.
Oh, Lord, sound like somebody.
Before an autopsy could be performed, the medical examiner ruled their deaths as homicides, citing blunt force trauma as the cause of death. Stephen had also suffered thermal injuries. It was determined that Stephen was killed in August 2012 at the age of 9, and Stony was killed in May 2013 at the age of 13. Their bodies had been in the freezer for over 2 years. Mitchell Blair's confession in court revealed a chilling motive behind the murders of her children, Stephen Gage Berry and Stony Ann Blair. According to Blair, she killed her children because she believed they were sexually abusing her youngest son, a claim that has never been substantiated by any evidence.
They used to make me feel like I was nothing. It made me feel like I wasn't. You turn around and you do that to my son, you knew exactly what she was doing to him. She knew exactly what she was doing to him. So yeah, I don't care what anybody thinks. She had to go.
Blair recounted that in August 2012, she walked into a room of her Detroit home to find her youngest son simulating sexual activity using toys. Horrified, she asked him if anyone had ever touched him that way. The boy allegedly told her that his 9-year-old brother Stephen had. Enraged, Blair stormed into Stephen's room and confronted him. After Stephen allegedly confessed to the abuse, Blair began a brutal campaign of torture that lasted for about 2 weeks. Blair described how she starved Stephen, made him drink Windex, and asphyxiated him with a plastic bag. She also poured scalding hot water on his genitals, causing his skin to peel off. At one point, she wrapped a belt around his neck, lifted him up, and asked, "Do you like how this feels?" Blair continued to torture Stephen until he succumbed to his injuries on August 30th, 2012. She found him unresponsive beside a...
Bro, something had to happen to her too, God. Damn. What the fuck? When they say other people have a history of the shit happening to them, right? For the way they respond to shit. So what the fuck happened to her for her to respond like that on her own kids? She said, "My own kids evil. I gotta goddamn get rid of them. They gotta go." What? That's hey. Where did she get? Where did the kids get it from? Your side, the father's side. What happened to you? Man, that shit crazy, dog. They say she poured, man, on the 9-year. My question is, where the fuck did they learn the shit from? Like, you gotta investigate at that point. Well, damn, you only this age, so where the fuck you get it from? And then where the fuck they get? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta go down the line with that shit. Like, what the like? Woo! I need to go to the smoke shop and get me a goddamn THC slushy after this shit. Something. What the fuck? Hey man, only see I like to try to provide some positive insight on all situations, especially with this shit right here. People getting sentenced to life. You want to goddamn control your emotions first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? You want to have that emotional intelligence to where you don't have yourself in that situation. But damn, this shit here just, I mean, I guess, okay, that's the positive. I'm gonna keep writing.
Puddle of vomit, wrapped his body in a blanket, and hid him in the deep freezer. 9 months later, Blair claimed that her 13-year-old daughter Stoney was also abusing her youngest son. She began interrogating the boy, who initially denied any abuse. However, after Blair threatened to beat him if he didn't tell the truth, he eventually said that Stoney had abused him. Blair then began torturing Stoney, starving her and beating her with a 2x4. Stoney died in May 2013. Blair placed Stoney's body in a plastic bag and stuffed her in the freezer on top of Stephen. Blair later claimed that while killing Stephen was an accident, she had meant to kill Stoney.
What did you do to Stoney Blair that makes you guilty of premeditated murder?
My son.
So
she
meant to kill the oldest one because
she showed no remorse for her actions, stating that she did not feel any guilt because her children had no remorse for what they allegedly did to her youngest son.
You meant to kill her?
I definitely meant to kill her.
Okay. It wasn't an accident?
No, not at all. If I had a chance to do it again, I would.
Throughout the trial, Blair remained unrepentant, insisting that she had no remorse for her actions. She claimed that her children had no remorse for what they allegedly did to her youngest son, and she felt justified in her actions.
That she did that to him, but
you know they say the youngest one a favorite. Ain't that what they say?
On many occasions, or every time, he told me what she did to him. By assault, I mean I punched her. I have put a bag over her head till she lost consciousness. I threw hot water on her
Prosecutor Karen Goldfarb presented evidence that contradicted Blair's claims. There was no concrete evidence to support the allegations of sexual abuse. Blair's oldest child, Gabby, testified that their mother had become obsessed with the notion that her siblings were abusing the youngest brother. Gabby explained that their mother's incessant questioning and threats led the youngest brother to accuse Stephen and Stoney falsely. Even during her custody hearing, the prosecutors speculated that Stoney's dad knew there was abuse.
What happens when your kids come to visit you in 2005?
Sister gave him a bath, seen whips on his back.
Who's seen whips?
My sister.
Your sister. Did you see these whips?
She showed them to me.
Are these long red marks?
No, they was healed up by the time I seen them.
Blair fought Stoney's father in court for abandoning his kid and being a deadbeat father.
Listen to me. This is a civil case. It's not a criminal case. We can and we will do it without you.
I never
We
tried to
will
say I
do it
didn't. I
without
did
you.
it, but that does not negate the fact that they were never there for their children. I had to struggle with them all the time. They were never there.
She wanted to keep custody of her remaining surviving kids. Gabby described her mother as a ticking time bomb who was always on the verge of exploding. She recounted the constant fear and abuse she and her surviving brother endured. Gabby revealed that she was repeatedly burned with a curling iron and beaten with a wooden plank. She lived in constant terror, knowing that one misstep could lead to her becoming the next body in the freezer. Mitchell Blair was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
And I find that just so sad in this case. After all is said and done, you imposed the death penalty on your own children.
I did.
And you readily admit it, and you want to take responsibility of it. You're therefore sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life without the possibility of parole.
She is currently serving her sentence at the Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Ypsilanti, Michigan. After the trial, Gabby and her younger brother went to live with their great aunt. They both returned to school and began therapy to deal with the trauma and abuse they had endured. Gabby recalled the fear she felt every time she walked past the freezer, knowing what was inside. Click on one of the cards on the screen to see more videos like this.
It ain't enough therapy in the world for that shit, dog. Man, that shit crazy, man. They say the bitch poured boiling water on her 9-year-old son's genitals. What the fuck? And she was obsessed with it. Like, it wasn't even no, it was false accusation by the jit being terrorized, the jit scared, the jit don't even know how to answer, so the jit gonna lie on them. Man, I don't know, bro. That shit. What the fuck? It wasn't even proven that nothing was even done to this boy. Damn. Damn, that shit hurt my heart watching this shit. I gotta goddamn watch. We finna watch some funny shit next, man. I'm finna. Damn. All right, I gotta drop my daughter off right quick. I'll be right back. You know what it is, homie? TV, Hustles on a Mission, everyday shit, media. Here in the Lit House. Let the light within you shine bright, my brother. You feel me? You know how it is. Sponsored by dividendsapparel.com. Whatever you do, make sure you do it capital. Create a positive impact today and later. Fuck them haters. Get your paper. Straight like that. Remember, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Whole ass motherfuckers gonna talk about it, and fuck niggas gonna hate regardless. I promise you that, nigga.